All right, everybody, this is HD. Welcome back. It is time for game number 2 between Root and EG, and it looks like Katz is going to be staying in because obviously he won the first game in a very convincing fashion. I must say it was very impressive, the fact that he went for early pool rather than going for early hatch, and was able to strive it all the way to the mid game, and he was able to win it. It was very, very well played by Katz, but now he's going to face his toughest opponent yet. It looks like Evil Geniuses has thrown up their best player of all. It is Idra, and wow, Idra does obviously he does not joke around. He is a serious contender, and unless if Idra loses this game, I would have to say that EG is going to be in a lot of trouble because it's only going to take 2 more wins for Root to win this entire series. But obviously, EG feels like now it's the time to throw their best player forward. They just want to take the momentum right away from Root, and I have to say, Idra has got a pretty large favoring to win this game. If I had to put my money down, if I had to throw $100 on the table and people were taking bets on Katz and Idra, I would put my money on Idra any day. I would say almost any day, except the day when Idra is, on a really bad streak, because then I don't think he thinks as clearly when he loses a ton of games. So we'll see what happens this game. It is obviously the SGL Root versus Team EG. This is a team-based game. The team that loses a game actually has to send up the next player that they want to send up to face off the winner of the previous game in this tournament series. And it looks like now Katz is going to be switching his strategy up. He will be going for an early hatchery, and I do like this play because this is Shakura's Plateau. It's such a wide open map. Get your hatcheries out there. Go for early expansion. It's far more safer than on Metalopolis because this natural is so closed off and choked off. And if we look over at Idra, it looks like Idra is not going to be going for an early hatchery. Instead, he's going to be going for pool and gas. And this is just Idra, man. He's a top level player. He knows that most players are thinking, all right, I'm playing against Idra, I'm playing on Shakura's Plateau, it's a Zerg versus Zerg, I'm going to go for an early hatchery. What's the chances that Idra is going to rush me? And Idra is playing against that thought process, and he is going to be going for a ton of Zerglings here. You guys can see 6 Zerglings on the way. Now the question is this going to be a half attempt at aggression into a hatchery like Katz did in the first game, or is this going to be just all in, balls to the wall, mass Zerglings? We can see now the drones have been pulled off the gas, as Idra doesn't really need any more gas at this stage in the game, and we can see 2 more Zerglings in production. But Idra does have a ton of minerals saved up, so it would not surprise me to see a hatchery going up. Yes, there is going to be a hatchery, but Idra does have a lot of Zerglings on the map now, and it's going to be up to Katz to defend against this. Does he have enough forces? He does not have any spine crawlers. He only has he actually has 2 queens coming up right now, but those queens are still very, very far away from coming out. Katz right now trying to make about 6 Zerglings to defend against this, and watch these players. They are just going to be so good with their micro. Watch as they pull away individual Zerglings. It would honestly surprise me to not see some micro. There we go. We can see Katz pulling away a Zergling that was in the red. Every little bit helps because every Zergling matters so much at this early stage in the game. It looks like Idra out microing his opponent and just has more Zerglings in general, is able to take the first small battle, but with the queen popping out now, I think Katz will be able to defend. And Idra, as a result, will now fall back. But there you guys can see 10 Zerglings in production for Idra. So Idra is going to keep the pressure on. He is not droning up. This hatchery may just be a faint hatchery. You guys can see Katz sees the hatchery, so he thinks it's going to be drones coming out for Idra. He thinks it's going to be a semi-bluff, semi-aggression into drones. But Idra is making a ton of Zerglings. And Katz hopefully has his eye on the minimap. Hopefully he sees all these Zerglings coming out. Is he going to be able to defend against this? He's got 6 more Zerglings on the production tab. His queen is going to go down, and that is a huge loss. A queen just evaporates into blood on the creep. And now, Katz in a lot of trouble. He may have to pull drones off the line to fight against this as the queen retreats back into her mineral line. A ton of drones now could go down as a result. And Idra already with the drone advantage, 22 over 15. Well, watch that number. That number is just going to drop 23 to 12 now. And Idra is just doing great. Katz, as a result, has to throw up a Baneling's Nest. His queen gonna get taken out. That's the second queen today that Idra has taken out for against Katz, and honestly, Idra is making this look like a kiddie game. Katz is not even standing a chance against Idra. We can see now 24 to 10 drones. Katz is now going to have to make some desperation attempt happen. You guys can see he's pulling off a ton of Zerglings, and this is pretty much all in for Cats. Unless he does some serious damage with these Zerglings, I honestly do not see Cats winning this game. He will be able to pick off the Queen, so that's a nice small bonus right there. But a ton of Zerglings starting to morph out, and this is going to drop the number of Zerglings that Cats will have to do damage to the drones. More Zerglings popping out right here, and eventually Hydra will be able to defend against this, I believe. You can see 12 Zerglings coming out, so I think, yeah, Hydra will be able to defend. Cats... He has 2 Zerglings left, 1 in the red. It gets its way into the main, and then it falls next to the Creep Tumor. So now Hydra still at a very large advantage, only losing a couple of drones in that exchange. And now the game, the ZVZ in this Root versus EG game, game number 2, is starting to transition into Banelings. And Zerglings versus Banelings, one of the most awesome spectacles to watch. We can see Cats bringing in Banelings from the south here. Banelings trading fire with Banelings. Cats is trying to do whatever he can. He has more Zerglings now. Hydra just kind of walking across the map with his Banelings. We can see Hydra picking off the rest of those Zerglings though. And both these players are just kind of frantically moving around the map, trying to do whatever they can. But you guys got to remember, Hydra has such a large economy advantage. So the longer this game goes on, the more it favors Hydra. He's now walked across the map with 4 Banelings, and Cats has almost nothing to deal with this. Oh my god, Hydra is gonna have his way into the Zerg main. Just like that, he slaps the fire out of Cats. And that is gonna be game number 2. Hydra just takes it away with almost no opposition whatsoever. And wow, the question now is who can Root throw up to deal with Hydra? And the only player that comes to my mind is KiwiKaki, and his love of the mothership. Can he take out Hydra in game number 3? Is he gonna actually play in game number 3? Root may not actually throw up KiwiKaki, so stay tuned. We're gonna see what happens next. HD signing out.